Welcome, everyone, to the Real Whovians cast, episode 877. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, guys? It's one of the rare occasions where we do a Real Whovians cast now.
I know, I just did one before. Here's the thing. Class is only 8 episodes, okay? We already had the finale, right? It was completely different from what I thought it was going to be. Now, when we first heard about it, I was against it, if you remember, Chris. Mm-hmm. And I ripped it to, whatever, before there was anything really filmed. And then I got a change of heart. I said, you know what, that was wrong of me to do. And I actually felt really bad, like with Patrick Ness, like that I did that. And I wound up buying his book with the Doctor Who that he did. And then I started reading. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, and I'm interested in getting his other books. And then finally, I got to see it. Now, the first one shocked me. And I really didn't think that the Doctor needed to be there. So I'm not going to really spoil the whole series. The only thing I'm going to say is, and you said you don't care, right? About the finale?
Yeah, I'm good. But just so you guys know, this is going to be spoilers for class.
Yeah. All right. So, spoilers for class is that the hidden enemy that I guess there's a group called the Governors that basically this group in Coal Hill that investigate with the aliens and stuff like that, and they're behind things. So I guess they're working for the Weeping Angels. And I saw this shit, and I'm like, holy shit. Because we talked about this, that Moffat's leaving. How cool would it be? Weeping Angels in the finale, his creation, put somebody different in the finale. Right, Chris?
Yeah.
We talked about this. Mm-hmm. And I says they got to do something big with the Weeping Angels this final year, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, lo and behold, it's like the holy shit moment in class where the freaking Weeping, they turn their back and the lady's like, oh no, and the freaking Weeping Angel snaps her neck. And it's like, what? And it's like, oh my God. So, in other words, they have cracks that are appearing. It's not the same cracks like what we had.
Sure.
Different type of thing. I don't know who created it, whatever. The Weeping Angels, this is going to be the Series 10 thing. The Weeping Angels is the big thing of Series 10. Okay? They're going to be the big thing with the cracks in different appearing, their time energy, whatever the crap it's going to be. It's going to be the finale of Series 10, I'm pretty sure. Okay? The first episode, A Star in Her Eye or something like that, it goes back to when Amy had the Weeping Angel in her eye and she was turned, remember?
Yeah.
So we're hearing rumors that Bill is living in the Weeping Angel house. It's a possibility.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So there's a possibility that the Weeping Angels, since the episode of Angels Take Manhattan, are big again or bigger, but not paradox-wise, but where they're actually talking somehow to humans, and the humans are working for the angels working for the humans. They're a threat. I don't know what they're about, but they may appear just like Missy appeared here and there the whole damn season and be a part of every episode, basically, or a little bit here and there. Okay? And Capaldi, maybe, just think about this, maybe the cause of these cracks is Clara banging the damn TARDIS around all over the galaxy and all over the universe. That could be a plot device. And the Weeping Angels are drawn to Paradox because she's supposed to be dead. She's not supposed to be around. She can't die because her heart's not whatever. So
that sounds good to me.
Go with it. So he's got Nardo, he's got Bill, he's got now we're hearing the Sea Devils, which we were right about it so far, that they are going to appear. So far, we're right again. We're right about Missy appearing. Now, Connor's saying Genesis of the Cybermen, and even Capaldi hinted at that. It's not definite yet. Unfortunately, Sleep No More 2 is happening. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We did get a titles list that, from what I'm hearing, and again, when I put it up today, it's not to say that that's accurate, but it's news, okay? Whether you like it or you don't like it, there hasn't been any Doctor Who news that has made it cast-worthy, okay? So I put up a video and I put a question mark on it. Take it with a grain of salt. This is what the episode list may be, okay? I don't need again, people are free to comment, but stop jumping to conclusions. If you don't know what a question mark means, it means that something's in question, okay? Common effing sense. So I put the thing up with a question mark, meaning it's not, we don't know yet, okay? But we have no Doctor Who news, so why not go with it? Because we got to jump at things. Because, again, we've been starving as Whovians for stuff. So if it causes a stir where we start talking about Doctor Who, I don't care. I put it up there. Let's go with it, all right? A lot of exciting things. Moffat's got to wrap up stuff, right, Chris? I mean, yeah. He doesn't have to, but he has to. So we know so far we're hearing all these different things. Sea Devils, Cybermen. I mean, it looks to be exciting season. Again, but we haven't seen really – we're going to see it – there's going to be a trailer after the Christmas special. So that's what I'm looking forward to. The only thing we don't know at all completely, because it's not even a thought yet, is Christmas 2017. Because we don't know if Capaldi's regenerating or not. Regardless of them saying that Capaldi's staying, it's contradictory now. So that could be anything, that Christmas special. It could be The Silence, Madame Corvarian, Missy Christmas, whatever. So we don't even know what that is. But we just know the Christmas special this year and the 12 episodes and there's bits and pieces that we know. Unfortunately, there is going to be an emoji monster.
Yeah, what the fuzz is that apparently?
It's called Moffat Moffat likes corn. He likes corn.
If that's true, I mean, if that's an actual title, I mean...
Well, even if it's not a title, the fact that there's a creature that's an emoji creature, that's corn. I mean, we've had spoonheads. God, how many times we have to make fun? Chris, I even said it, he's going to create something else. Didn't I say it?
Well, let's not say that that's the most ridiculous thing he might do. Because what happens if we see like the emoji weeping angel or something? Like it turns into an emoji on your phone, and then like you have to look at your phone. But if you look at your phone, it like takes over your body or something.
We'll make it that the Earth is alive, like the moon's an egg.
I don't like thinking about that episode.
The moon is not an egg. I mean, look at John Pertwee's episode, by the way. It's not. It's it's the moon.
Scary thing is like this is my thing, and the reason it's scary is because we've talked about this before, and it's a distinct possibility. And I don't like thinking this way, but I have to. After these last 2 seasons, is it worth getting built like really hyped for the finale? I don't think it is. You want to know why? Because the finale has good moments, but overall, the last 2 finales have not been that good.
There's been letdowns.
You know what I'm saying? So we could be getting this awesome story with the Weeping Angels, and then all of a sudden they could be like, yeah, it's resolved like this.
Yeah.
Just, he threw them in a black hole.
Yeah,
that's, The Time Lords came back out of nowhere, and Paradox, Clara, destroyed the Weeping Angels. And oh, no. They'll say, oh, no, Clara is the genesis of the Weeping Angels. Like, she jumped into this thing, and she turned to stone, and now she's...
They're all Clara.
And they're all actually Clara.
And they're actually good guys. They're not evil. They just trying to get the doctors.
Yeah. Clara is the key to the quantum lock. If you use Clara, they just explode.
Right.
So let's hope they don't do something like that. But I don't know. I'm excited for the show, but I'm not going to get too excited anymore because it's like,
Well, we're not excited about the Christmas special. I mean, it looks cornier than corn.
But it could be good. Like, just because we're not excited about it, we could be shocked. Like, oh my gosh, it was the best.
Is anybody excited about it, though?
I haven't seen anybody excited about it.
If somebody is, comment to us, because I have yet to see anybody that's excited about the Christmas special.
And don't get us wrong. If you're excited for it,
Good for you, man. That's great. Because I don't want anybody to be against.
It's just us. Like we've watched this show, and it's not like we're overhyping it or anything.
No.
Like when we speculate, we're just like, well, maybe it could be this, but if it's not, that's okay. But if it's something stupid,
right?
Like, oh yeah, the Cybermen were for him. She made them for him.
Right.
For an army to fight something. To fight what? Well, just something.
It's his birthday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the Time Lords just came back. Well, how? Well, don't worry about it.
They were mad at the Doctor, and they put him in a dial for like 4.5 billion years, which was actually 4.5 minutes.
Well, see, I liked that idea.
I did, but yeah.
I wish that it would have led to something better than I thought they were trapped in another dimension. Oh, they must have gotten out.
Yeah, that was just, yeah. Again, make no mistake, we wouldn't have 877 episodes of a podcast on Doctor Who if we didn't care about Doctor Who. So again, nobody does that but us. So obviously we are big fans and we care about the show. It's just that there's been a lot of times we've been burned.
Right. We want it to be good. We want it to be good. If we don't like something, right, that doesn't mean that it's the law. That like it doesn't mean that like if you liked the one Kill the Moon, if you liked that one,
great.
It does just because we didn't like it. It doesn't become like gravity or something like a universal law. That,
yeah, like, we don't go against people that don't agree with us. I mean, that's
if you liked it, great. If you didn't like an episode that I've seen a whole bunch of people who hate Nightmare in Silver.
Right.
Fine, I don't care. That's your thing.
Right.
But our thing is this: just because it's Doctor Who doesn't mean it's good. Okay, that should be the thing for anything. Just because you really like something. If it does something that you don't like, you don't have to be like, well, it's this, so I have to.
It could be Star Wars, something you don't like, one of the movies.
Well, I mean, look at 1, 2, and 3.
There you go.
You know, look at Godzilla with me.
What's Metachlorians? Yeah, Godzilla shooting laser beam from his back and his tail.
I mean, I'm a huge WWE fan.
Yeah.
And they do things sometimes that I say, why the hell did you do that?
Right.
But just because I like WWE, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's good because it's WWE. No.
No.
Just because it's Doctor Who doesn't mean that it's automatically good. And we've seen that in the past.
Yeah.
So where we're coming from is we're not complaining about the show, new season, I should say, because we haven't seen it yet. But if we see it and we don't like it, we're going to be like, listen, guys, we didn't like it.
Listen, I'm not going to hold back, and you know you're not. I mean, if we don't like it, it's going to be taken apart, dissected. I mean, just
if we really like it, though.
Oh, we'll praise it, lift it. Yeah. We want to like it. That's the whole point.
I want to come on here every night and be like, that was amazing.
Yep.
It was a great show. Now, mind you, it doesn't have to be like the best episode ever, but we come on here and be like, that was a good show. We were entertained. It made sense. Nothing was weird it was weird in a good way. Bravo. It was funny. It had its moments. It had some down moments, but it was good. I don't want to come on here, and I know you don't want to, and be like, why the hell was he acting like that? Why did they know that the Zygons can shapeshift, and yet they didn't know that they can shapeshift? Why did the Time Lords come back? Sand eye monsters? You know, we don't want to do that. But if that happens and we don't like it, we're not going to come on here and be like, this was a great episode, and this show can do nothing wrong. Like, no.
I have to spoil class for a second. They also revealed something else. And I really don't want to confuse the shit out of people. I don't like being confused. But they also revealed, Chris, that when the Zygons came to live on Earth with humans and pose as humans, that there was another alien race that was posing as Zygons posing as humans.
What?
And I'm like, holy shit, you just completely fucking confused the shit out of us.
So what is it, like Inception? It's like we got to get more extraterrestrial.
There was another race that I guess this guy and a few just pretended to be Zygons that are being humans.
Global or just like a couple?
I got to go back and watch it.
Because if it's just a couple, I can deal with that. But if it's like global, like
I don't think it was global, but I think there was a few. But still, that's even more confusing.
Well, that sounds interesting if you do it in like a tame way.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like, well, now Earth is inhabited by. Well, think about this. I mean, if that's true, then Earth would be inhabited by 4 alien races, 4 races, because you've got humans, right? Then you've got the Silurians and.
Well, no, they're always been.
Well, yeah.
They're not. They're not.
So I guess 2 other races. Then I guess you. But if the Weeping Angels, I mean, they're not global, but they might as well be at this point.
Right. So, yeah.
But you know what would be interesting though. Now that you said that about the Weeping Angels, I guess that might explain why they were in New York way back when. Because I always wondered how, like, did they just travel there? Which would be fine. I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, they just traveled there.
Like,
but
what's the purpose of them being there? Right.
Yeah, I always wondered what were they doing on Earth, even in the first episode.
Well, could it be that they were there? Well, actually, now I think I just created the reason why.
Why is that?
Before the Angels take Manhattan, there was Daleks take Manhattan.
Yes.
And the Daleks did a temporal shift.
Oh, yeah.
And they were building the Empire State Building. And Weeping Angels are drawn to time energy.
Right, so they just went there after that.
So maybe they went there after the Daleks.
That would be a cool way to tie that in. Honestly, I would be totally on board with that.
I just did that, Moffat. Give me credit for that. I know Russell did, give me credit for that, sucker. I pulled that out of my Time Lord. Honestly, that was just.
You know what you need to do? If that happens in the show, right?
Yeah.
That podcast, you need to come on here wearing a Dalek helmet.
Yeah.
And just be like, "Yep, I called it."
Yeah. How many times do we call things though? Seriously.
I remember. Well,
it's gotten to be a regular thing.
Before I came on the show, before you guys had me on the show, I used to watch after every episode because I liked your guys' videos.
Right.
And I would count the things that you guys said that happened before the episode.
Right.
Or episodes or before the season. It was more before like episodes, not before seasons, but like before certain episodes, I'd be like, they said that. They said that. They kind of came close to that. Then I'd come back and watch the video, and I'd be like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I'm getting used to hearing F with the ing and Matrixlord in the same sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, fucking Matrixlord! Good! It's like, yeah. And my peeps, too. It's like, Remember how I was saying all the TARDISes are going to land? Remember we were trying to predict it?
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it turned out the 50th anniversary was like 3 TARDISes next to each other?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Twice in that episode. Twice. Yeah. Sort of.
I mean, I still would do the whole thing with that Matt Smith as the Doctor destroyed Missy's TARDIS in 11th hour by accident. Like, just the thing. That's where she stuck.
I wonder if in Moffat's last episode, I don't know, is he doing the Christmas special next year too?
Yeah.
I wonder if in one of his last episodes or in his last episode, like whether it's the season finale or the Christmas special, I wonder if he's going to make a lot of callbacks to Matt Smith's era.
Yeah, he
should, but yeah.
Well, they did use the 10th Doctor's music when the TARDIS appeared in Class Episode 1.
Oh, yeah?
Weird. Yeah, it was weird. So, but wouldn't he do callbacks to, why would he do callbacks with Matt Smith? Wouldn't he do it to Capaldi? Matt Smith's not there anymore. That's like.
Well, obviously he would focus a lot on Capaldi, but what I mean is like
Madame Craverne still has to bring back.
Yeah, like little things with Matt Smith, like really like in passing or something, say like, oh, that voice in the TARDIS, I've heard it before, it was this.
Yeah, that's what they had to explain too, yeah.
Like, even if, at this point, I'd be okay if Moffat came out and he was like, listen, that was the early designed voice for the silence, and that's what we went with. I'd be like, okay, at least it's something,
Right. I mean, it's weird, but like now the time passes, we hear stuff like those minisodes are not canon. Like
Wait, what?
The Doctor minisode. Remember the minisode with Going for the Gold, where there was a weeping angel in the TARDIS with Amy and the Doctor. Remember that? You don't remember that? Well, supposedly it's like stuff's like not canon because then why is there a weeping angel in the TARDIS?
Oh.
And why is there an Ood in the TARDIS? Why is there? I mean, it's just, it's just like a one-off.
So the webisodes or whatever they're called, the webisodes, are those still canon?
Well, I mean, the only thing that I heard is not canon is the Going for the Gold minisode where Amy and the Doctor and there's a weeping angel in the TARDIS and he destroys the weeping angel. The weeping angel comes back or something. But because that would mean that the weeping angel's in the TARDIS. But everything else exists.
I was gonna say like the Eighth Doctor's regeneration. That has to be canon.
Yeah, everything's canon, I think, except for.
I wish it wasn't canon, but
You know what I always see when I think about that?
What's that?
Why can't they say, right? He couldn't regenerate, right?
Mm-hmm.
That potion had to help him to regenerate, but he couldn't regenerate fully.
Mm-hmm.
That when the thing was done, he regenerated, and it was like an in-between. Like they did that years ago. Right before John Pertwee died, a fan did an episode where there was an in-between Doctor between the second and the third, and he did a mission, and then he was gone.
Right.
So why couldn't he, like an old Hulk episode where Bill Bixby was caught in between transformation, halfway, something because of a meteorite? Why couldn't they do that where that was never meant to be the regeneration? Or maybe even if it's an extra regeneration, that potion's a regeneration. Because here's the thing, no matter what you do, right? The Doctor told the truth in Nightmare in Silver that he had one regeneration left. And they looked and they researched it and they saw he was telling the truth. So what if this whole time, right, he was even wrong and he just had a regeneration when he was on the clock tower and didn't even know it. And then, they give him a whole new cycle, but maybe that regeneration was going to be like a ghostly thing, like when the Master was decrepit. So that's what I'm thinking.
The only thing I can think of is that Moffat really wanted him to be considered a doctor, like he wanted to be, this is the Doctor there. This is technically the Ninth Doctor, It's the only thing I can think of because, like you said, like why else would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like why?
Well, he didn't want him to be a doctor. He just I guess I don't know. He would have called him the Doctor then. But again, I don't like when things don't add up.
Yeah.
And it's like people just don't count it.
It's a lot to buy. It's a lot to kind of like.
You should be able to talk to somebody. Okay, Doctor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you got to go and you got to stop. 7, 8, and then then you got to say, well, then there was this thing that happened, but and then he used this regeneration for this, and then he gave River regeneration, and it's like it's a headache. Like you can't just explain it easy now. Now you have to go into detail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I always looked at it like, or I've recently, I guess, looked at it like it's a lot for your audience to buy. It's not something like, the Doctor has a different sonic screwdriver this episode because his old one broke.
Right.
Okay. Now it's like, oh, yeah, you remember the Doctors that you liked? Yeah, they're actually not the ones we told you they were, and they're actually one more to the right.
So my whole thing is, because I'm a big fan of the Valuard, right?
Uh-huh.
I was pissed with this situation because I'm like, well, what if he gets a whim and you don't feel like being a Doctor one regeneration? So now every single time he's a baby, and he just doesn't want to be the Doctor, he's not the Doctor. That's terrible. So the Valuard's not unique. Now you got War Doctor or the Gardener or the Curator.
They call him the War Doctor. So, like, he's the Doctor. I'm sorry, but, like, you can't, like,
well, he never had the name of the War Doctor. You got to call him something.
Yeah, what do they call him? That guy.
That guy. It's like, he didn't go and have companions.
Didn't the Time Lords in the episode say, oh, look, a message from the Doctor?
I mean, I wouldn't consider him the Doctor. I don't know what. Again, I think that the way I see it, the 8th Doctor was the one that did the Time War, and then he regenerated to the 9th. And if time did change, it was always going to be the 9th for the 9th. So whatever this happens in between, I don't count him ever. Like it's just a thing. I just don't do it.
Well, you know what I always, I mean, you could say this in that mini-sode or webisode, whatever you want to call it, with the 8th Doctor where he regenerates, right? The Time War was already going on,
right?
From the way he says it, right? So I guess what you could kind of say is that maybe he was involved with it, but then he was like, listen, I'm out, I'm done. He left, and then he did the potion thing and went back.
Right, which doesn't make any sense, but yeah.
But I mean, the thing about it though is when you hear that argument that he wasn't the Doctor, so that doesn't count. Well, one, obviously it did count because he had no more regenerations at the end of Time of the Doctor, and two, in the 50th anniversary at the end of the episode, he says, "I am the Doctor" in that form. So it's like he is.
Yeah.
He is the Doctor in that form. He accepts it later on. He doesn't remember it, but he said it. It's canon. So
he's the War Doctor.
Yeah. So he is the Doctor. So it's like.
But he's not counted as a number.
I don't know how anyone can say that. I mean.
Well, Moffat, let me tell you something. He was even saying that his friends.
I heard that, yeah. And
he was going to change it. Which he's
late now.
Well, not really. He could still technically change it. He could do a one-away line that, the regeneration energy, and he, completed his regeneration with the 9th.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but I think that it would probably piss a lot of people, like more people.
I wouldn't think it pissed anybody off. I wouldn't be pissed about it at all.
I think I would. Yeah. I'd be like, I wouldn't be pissed. I'd kind of just roll my eyes at it. I'd be like, well.
All this because he wanted to go against Russell T. Davies, and he wanted to say that the 9th Doctor, which just regenerated and rose, by the way, he wanted to change it and say that the 9th Doctor killed billions of people, which is why he dropped out, Christopher Eccleston, because he didn't kill billions of people. He just regenerated. So stop changing history.
Well, he didn't even kill them.
But that's what he wanted him to be the one.
No, but like the Doctor didn't kill anybody.
Well, no, he didn't. Yeah.
In that he didn't kill anybody on Gallifrey. He the Time Lords are still around. So it's like
that's another thing that's a mess. How do you just not explain? You're supposed to have a searching season or something and looking for them.
That was I think that there were two things that always bothered me about Matt Smith's seasons and one of Capaldi's was that he didn't do a season where the Doctor was having adventures going against the river, like when he was trying to get her back, and they didn't do a season where he was searching for Gallifrey, where you do an elaborate puzzle where each episode or most of the episodes of that season, you're trying to connect the dots as to where Gallifrey is and how maybe he can get it back, and then he faces a threat so great that he has to get their help, or even better, in my opinion, when he finds where they are, he gets there and there's something horrible happening.
I wouldn't even be opposed just to fix it if Matt Smith went to, Moffat tomorrow and said, look, I know that you're leaving, but why don't we just do it like a secret season with 14 episodes and see if the BBC go for it and don't tell anybody, right? That would be the only way that you could just fix everything, because then Moffat would have a whole season to explain everything away. He would have another episode with Craig. That would be the trilogy, and that thing would be over. He went to Amy and Rory, he brought them back, and he erased his memory so he wouldn't know as a later Doctor, and they're living in Earth, present time. They would explain everything. So.
As much as that may sound good.
They never even, another thing bothered me? In one of the worst episodes, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, right?
Oh.
He said he traveled to the future and he saw her die a freaking third time. What the hell was that? He saw Face the Raven? Was he there?
Well, if that was true, I'd
Matt
have to
Smith's doctor.
see what he said, but
Matt Smith's doctor.
Yeah.
Saw her die a third time, and he said it to her. I traveled to the future, and I saw you die. And it's just, you keep dying, you keep coming back.
Let me tell you, if they say Matt Smith was somewhere near Face the Raven, it wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
Because he didn't know where that was as the 12th Doctor. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know where that place was, unless you say, oh, he lied. Oh, really?
Well, here's the thing, that the way to explain is the memory worm.
I guess, yeah.
For everything. I mean, what was that whole thing with the Rosencrown about?
The what?
She was working at the Rosencrown bar. For what reason? And then she's a governor. The Dastardly Donna, they had posters everywhere. What the hell was that about?
I think that was just I honestly think that was just an Easter egg.
The regeneration energy is chilling in like Donna's ring. That, comes out to destroy the master. Like, that's regeneration energy.
What happened to the Daleks that Missy took with her? Or did
what's that about?
With
Davros?
I'm assuming that they're going to show up in this season. And let me say this. If we get to the end of this season, and we have the Weeping Angels thing, if we get to the end of this season and they come out and they're like, oh, was the Daleks are behind it, I might be done with the show.
Wait, the Daleks behind the Weeping Angels?
Yeah. They say, like, oh, they're the ones controlling it. No, let me ask you this. Hold on. Would you put it by them to do that?
I wouldn't put it past them, because you don't want to know why? I actually thought we were going to have I thought we were going to have a silence Dalek war. And then they showed how fucking pathetic silence were by they being fucking absorbed by Daleks. That was pathetic. I'm like, fuck, they ruined it. So they destroyed my dreams with the Silence Forever with that one.
I better not see, like, oh, the Daleks are actually the ones behind all of this, and they're working with the Weeping Angel. I'd be like, no. Go back to the drawing board. That's just my opinion. I don't want to see. I don't mind the Daleks being in the season, but I don't want them to be the overarching villain again.
Well, here's another thing. There are two races of Weeping Angels.
Right.
Rassilon said that the Weeping Angels of old, had votes on the council. Now, are they completely different and just by name only? Or, like, they connected to the regular Weeping Angels? Because they did the same thing, if you remember.
Yeah, they covered their faces, yeah.
I mean, is that a thing?
Well, you know what? Let's ask Rassilon, because he's flying around somewhere.
Well, not only him, but the whole entire council.
Yeah.
Don't have a planet.
Yeah. You think they're going to let that stand? I don't.
I think that they're going to travel back in time because they have TARDISes. Just like Davros created how many Scaros? They're going to create another Gallifrey in the beginning of time, and they're going to chill there. That's what they're going to... I mean, why do they have to be at the end of time? They could be at the beginning of time. I mean, everybody's... Do you realize how crowded that is at the end of time?
There's a lot of people at the end of time.
There is the 10th Doctor, Martha Jones, Captain Jack, Harold Saxon, which is the Master, with his wife Lucy, traveling around in the TARDIS, showing her the Toglafane. You got the 12th Doctor and Clara and friggin' Danny Pink's great-great-great-great-grandson.
You've got all the people in Utopia.
They're all in the same, and you got Rassilon,
Gallifrey,
the Sisterhood of Karn. Yeah, they're all chilling there. Everybody's at the end of time, like that's like Party in 1999. Like everybody's there. They literally could bump into each other, and your shoulders just sitting in a throne room, like watching things burn. Which I don't really think she was there the whole time. I think that Missy put her there or something. So, I would be happy if they explained that that's not really Michelda. That's like a robot or some weird shit, and Missy's part of that. So what's the purpose of her keeping? Did she try to be his friend by giving him a good companion? Is that what it was?
Who, Missy?
Yeah.
Well, they imply that
She brought them together. Why? Because
they implied that she was like, oh, if anybody was going to control you, it was her. But
how the hell is she going to know what she would be?
Like, the only thing I can think of is that maybe she lied and she actually traveled to the future and saw this, and she was like, oh, I guess I'll just make that happen. Which isn't that a paradox?
Look, I'm still trying to understand why they made a big thing about her being kidnapped when she was young, and it was a traumatic year that she left off the diary, and that her parents found her again. Like, I thought Missy kidnapped her or something when she was a kid. Or something.
I'm trying to figure out what the significance of that one mini-sode or whatever where the doctor's sitting on the swing and then Clara shows up and you don't know it's Clara until the end because she's a little girl. And it's like, okay, so what were they always supposed to meet? Was this like destiny?
But that was already with Donna. That was destiny.
Yeah. So I don't. First of all, I don't understand what makes Clara so important, but they're trying to tell us something about her, like more. I have to think that's why they kept her around, is that she's going to be something more.
She's Romana.
At this point, wouldn't surprise me.
First of all, you can't be on Gallifrey if you're human. So the Clara that told him which TARDIS to choose, she's Gallifreyan. She has regeneration.
Has to be.
She has regenerations.
Even if she doesn't, because not everybody on Gallifrey.
She could be his wife, actually.
Oh gosh.
She could be his wife, and then they have a daughter, and then a granddaughter, or a son, and then a granddaughter. And she could be everything. She could be the wife, the companion, everything. I'm telling you. She's his wife. I bet you. I bet you Clara's his wife.
It would have been so much. It would have made, to me anyway. It would have made so much sense if after Face the Raven, like when the Doctor teleported away, you saw the regeneration energy outside and she regenerated or something. And it was.
I was waiting for her to regenerate
the whole time.
No, not that she had the regeneration energy
or something like that.
From being in the Dalek.
Yeah. But I'm saying even if they would have went with the idea that yes, she was something with the Time Lords, or she was something that they made to help him find them, then I would have been like, okay, now I get why she's so important. That makes sense. But now it's just like, oh, she's just everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, you know what happened? She took the TARDIS back to Omega and gave it to him and was like, say you made it. And time travel.
Well, that's
and then, I got this thing, time travel. And if they did that, I don't watch the show anymore.
Right.
Because why not? She's done everything else.
I don't like that bootstrap paradox crap. That's just baloney.
Really though, like think about it. She made the Doctor, essentially. She told him which TARDIS to pick. She saved his life how many times? 18
She
times?
saved Amy and Rory's marriage, kind of, because she was part of that whole thing.
She got him more regenerations.
She saved Gallifrey.
Lord knows what else she's doing now. She's done everything.
I wouldn't be surprised that, like a Face the Raven, she would regenerate into a child. He would take that child, bring it to France, and she'd be Madame de Pompadour.
Let's not.
Because she touches his face, and she knows who he is, and it's like a whole thing. I'm telling you. Because Madame de Pompadour was always something special. Always. And they
You know what really makes me flip out would be if they did this, is if like at the end of this season they reveal the Minister of War and it's like Clara and Ashilda.
Oh, that'd be freaking great.
I'd be like, I'm out.
You think you'd be out?
I'd be done. I wouldn't want to see that.
Or if the Minister of War was him.
The Doctor?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That would be cool. If it was like a future Doctor, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
It would be Capaldi with black hair. And it would be like the start of the Valyard.
Maybe. I guess that could work. But
and then he would totally change it so that doesn't, and then it's an aberration, like the Valuard is something that shouldn't exist because he changes it.
Or maybe if it's like,
and that's why the Valuard goes in the past to steal the regenerations.
Sure, or like maybe if it's Capaldi though, maybe if it's not the Valuard, maybe it's like him from another universe or something.
Minister of War. I mean, here's another thing: he still has to become Merlin because that's a future incarnation as well. That's what the Seventh Doctor said, that he's going to be chilling on a sign. Well, it's a parallel universe with technology in Camelot, and he's fought Morgan Le Fay like 3 times or something.
Okay, then.
And Lancelot's chilling in the TARDIS, and the Knights of the Round are chilling in the TARDIS.
You know what? You really want to throw people off, just have them regenerate into Sherlock, and then we just go from there.
Well, did you watch Sherlock or not?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the blind banker episode?
Vaguely.
He basically, UNIT exists in that universe, and supposedly there was a scientist that made him who he was by monitoring his stuff.
Oh.
Basically.
I have to go back and watch
something like that. Yeah.
UNIT.
Because originally they were going to do a crossover, then he changed his mind.
Yeah,
when he did the Matt Smith and the Snowmen, that was the end of the crossover hopes.
Yeah, I think that's better that they don't, to be honest. Yeah. But UNIT, though, do you think UNIT is going to come back, or are they still going to be completely demolished?
UNIT exists in class.
Okay.
They mentioned UNIT.
Are they completely demolished still?
UNIT is extremely powerful in class.
What is this happening?
Like the governors, like there was a throwaway line about they don't want UNIT to find out, or something, like UNIT's big. So that whole thing about them being, that's bullshit. Totally. I wouldn't be surprised if UNIT became the church in the future, and that was UNIT.
Hey, why not? That would make sense.
Because if you remember the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit, they talk about the Torchwood archives. Like that whole group was part of a futuristic Torchwood thing. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they're Torchwood, technically, those people. So I wouldn't be surprised if UNIT became that church or something. I'm still trying to figure out how Harold Saxon had a whole religion based on him in the centuries when the TARDIS could only travel to the far future and to that point. Like, how did he get the TARDIS to travel back further than that?
Maybe he jury-rigged it.
Oh, something. And where did he get the vortex manipulator?
Oh, Space Walmart.
Yeah, Space Walmart. I'm still trying to figure out how many there are. Maybe that's going to be a finale, because they're all the same vortex manipulator. Supposedly, River was supposed to have Jax, because he said that a dead time agent's hand, which would mean that he got his arms chopped off, his legs chopped off, became the face of Bo.
Yeah.
But then that became something different, because then, well, Clara technically has a vortex manipulator, even though she has a TARDIS now.
Yeah.
Like, she never gave it back. And Missy has ones too. Like, why would you give it back if you have it anyway? So Clara has one, Missy has one. Captain Jack doesn't have one because Clara has Captain Jack's. And River has one. Or somebody has one. No, I don't know. And according to Moffat, I guess Big Finish, she gets a body back.
Oh.
River, and she gets out of the library. So they're going to be in order then with their appearances. So that's... Well, here's the thing. They could have took the nanogenes from... That's Scott. They could have took the nanogenes from the Empty Child and the Doctor Dances from Captain Jack. Remember that? The first appearance? And he could have threw it on River so they at least know her code, like an earlier River. So that way, he could wait for the 10th Doctor to leave with Donna, and then he could put the nanogenes on the body and the burnt, charred body and recreate her body for her. Technically. Because, I mean, the kid was dead when the missile hit him, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So if the kid could be Guts, you know, and the thing recreated him, then why couldn't it recreate River?
You probably could have, but I think they just want. I don't think they ever intended her to be like a huge character. But then when Moffat became the head writer, it was like, hey, you know,
that's my character,
or the showrunner, I should say. They're like, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
which is a good move. I always wanted to see. I said this before with the season with the Doctor chasing River. I always wanted to kind of see her go through regenerations.
Yeah.
So we could kind of see her, you know, is a different person each time, because I thought that might be really interesting to see.
Right.
But, you know, they threw it away in one episode. It was like, well, there goes your whole season.
They also didn't make any sense, because I'll tell you why. She regenerated in 1969, remember? In New York?
Yes.
And then in 1969, she regenerated into, I guess, a black kid, right?
I would assume so.
But she technically couldn't have, because she would age normally as that child.
Right, and she knew them in the 90s.
So there has to be like a regeneration too that happens.
Yeah, there has to be at least one in between those.
Or two.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh, who the hell is that? So, I mean, she didn't travel through time either. She didn't have a vortex manipulator back then.
Unless the silence brought her there.
And how the hell did Madame Corvarian travel through time anyway?
How come everybody can travel through time now?
Did the Great Intelligence? Well, first of all, the Great Intelligence didn't travel through time. But he was in the Victorian era. He kidnapped Jenny. He brought her to Trenzalore, which I guess is way after everything, right?
Yeah, I
but
guess.
He still existed decades later in Bells of St. John. So in other words, Clara, not only did Clara survive going in this time stream, but so did the Great Intelligence. Because he shouldn't exist in Bells of St. John then.
We could talk about that forever.
I know.
It'd just be a big circle, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even, if you really wanted to, you could even say that in the episode of Bells of St. John, that was the Great Intelligence attacking the 11th Doctor when he was in his time stream. I mean, you could go around with...
Yeah, like the Great Intelligence was the reason behind Madame Corvarian?
No. I'm saying like that episode, Bells of St. John. The Great Intelligence was the villain.
Mm-hmm.
You could technically say, oh, the reason he was there is because in the future the Great Intelligence jumped into his time stream, and that was him attacking the 11th Doctor.
Oh, yeah. And in other words, not him actually being there, but like a shade like Clara.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could go... I mean, they don't... I know that they don't need to explain everything, but there are some things that they do need to explain. Like, we don't need a huge explanation on how time travel works. It's just time travel. We don't need a huge explanation on how the sonic screwdriver works.
We do need an explanation because they started that dream shit.
Well, no. But I mean, like, you don't need to go into, like, the physics of it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it requires it.
Well, but they did have the mini-sode of this. There was 2 mini-sodes to Asylum of the Daleks. And one where he encountered himself as a monk, telling him the coordinates to go to Skaro. And then the fact that they dreamed and they traveled through time. That's another element that they didn't use either.
Well, no, but what I mean is, like, you don't need to go into, like, too much depth with it. You don't need to be, like, we can only, you know, like, to explain it down to, like, the mathematical equations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't have to be exact.
What you need to explain is your story.
Yes.
You're telling a story within this universe. You don't have to explain the entire universe, but you have to explain the story that you're telling. You know what I'm saying?
I'm still mad that he never explained the duck pond thing from season 5, that there was a significance about it. And, you know, that he says, oh, why do you keep saying over and over again the post office is always closed? Even in Victory to Daleks, the post office is closed again. Well, what does that mean? Red balloons. I mean, all this stuff. Like, it's like he had all these ideas what he was going to do, and he changed everything. You got the feeling that there was going to be a romance between Amy and the doctor, and then mid-season he makes it that Amy's marrying Rory and shit like that. You're like, what the fuck is happening? You know? Like, what the hell? I mean, each season was just bizarre compared to the other. Like, you go totally weird with the... I mean, it was good with the Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. But then you got shit with the Curse of the Black Spot. And not only that, but with Curse of the Black Spot, he told the guy, hey, I go to alternate universes all the time and I don't even know. What the fuck do you mean by that?
Yeah, especially when the last time you went to an alternate universe, the TARDIS like had a heart attack.
Right.
You remember that? They were like, oh, yeah. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get back. Like,
and he had to use years off of his life to put energy into the TARDIS. It's like, oh, shit. The last time he did that before that was Inferno with the Third Doctor, where they had eye patches. That's where they got the thing with Madame Graverian, because Moffat liked the eye patch thing with the Brigadier that time. So that's why he did the eye patch thing again with Graverian and everybody.
You know, that's something that kind of drives me crazy too. Is that they'll do something like a quick line like that, or they'll show something or mention something, right? And then they'll be like, "Oh, it was just a joke. Don't worry about it." And it's like, well, why would you make a joke out of something that has something to do with the continuity?
Do you remember there was a throwaway line? They do this shit all the time. It annoys me.
They do.
And Moffat knows what the fuck he's doing. And he said, River told Amy, the doctor's dead, like he's dying in the freaking Pandorica. She's wiring him up where he can go into space and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. She says something about battling the Nether Queen or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the fuck is that going to be? Like, you know? Just like right before, I don't know if you caught it, right before fucking Husbands of River Song fucking ended, like right in the middle where you wouldn't even fucking expect it, right? River's like, oh, you know, like she's trying to do something, like say something to the doctor, like, remember my birthday where two of you showed up, and he cut her off? Like this was right.
I vaguely remember that,
this was like right at the end. And it's like, that's the same thing from Good Man Goes to War, that she had a birthday with two doctors showing up. That we know that didn't happen yet. And we have to wait and see that. What is that? You mentioned it twice already because you know you're going to do something with it. So do it already. Like, what are you doing? Everything he mentioned, the fall of the Byzantium, picnic at Asgard, he did every effing thing he mentioned except for the birthday party, Happy Birthday River, with two friggin' doctors showing up. And which two doctors is it? It's probably obviously freaking Matt Smith is one of them, and the other one's David Tennant, because she knew who David Tennant's doctor was in Silence at the Library. It's gotta be. So, just it irks me. And he made. So remember in, what was it, before the flood or after, under the flood or after the lake? He said something to, he just for no reason. He said, "Oh, remember when the Nether Sphere just creates bodies for people?" Like what?
No, we don't remember that. Like, would you please explain?
Like they just said this stuff, and it's like, and I'm saying to myself, when I watched it, I'm like, fucking Moffat again. Like, why do you do these things if you're not going to explain it? Like, you're saying that Missy can't regenerate and she's making bodies? What are you trying to say? That Danny Pink can create bodies? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Because that's exactly what he said, because Danny Pink blew up as a Cyberman but had a body in the Nether Sphere after he blew up. So that whole Brigadier thing being a Cyberman was fucking freaky deek. Don't even get me started with that one. That was weird.
You know how miserable that ending was? Like in my opinion, it was like wait a minute. That was the Brigadier. He got turned into an alien robot, right?
Yeah.
And he flies off. Did he blow up? That's miserable.
No, he didn't.
So is he flying around like Iron Man saving people?
Yes.
That's miserable.
You
Because
can't talk.
now he can't rest. His soul can't rest.
Correct.
He's flying around as a fucking Cyberman.
Right.
That's miserable.
And he's going to show up in fucking Genesis of the Cybermen when they're about to fucking lose, and you have the whole fucking thing. He's going to show up and he's going to blast a freaking leader in the face.
Could you imagine?
And he's going to take over as the cyber leader, the Brigadier.
Well, I was just about to say, could you imagine if he's like the genesis of just a normal Cyberman? Like, for some reason, like, they use him as like the template? Do you know how bad that would be?
I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do. If they do that, they're going to have the Brigadier Cyberman show up. He's going to save the day. Mark freaking timestamp that shit. This one, it's going to be F Matrixlord again, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Don't think for 1 minute, because he didn't blow up with Danny Pink. He took off. So the Brigadier as a Cyberman is out there. Just keep that in mind.
Tell me this. What are they ever going to do with that frickin' Dalek that was quote-unquote good?
Yeah, somebody was watching Next Generation in his house when Data, had U-Borg, and he was a good Borg, and he made a whole colony of good Borgs versus bad Borgs. Yeah, I know Moffat was watching Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation, because where the hell did you get that unique idea from? Rusty. Is it Rusty? Dalek?
Something like that.
Yeah, some shit.
I didn't like that episode, so I was like, okay, whatever. But it was funny because he took that whole ship of Daleks, and I was like, wow. And I said it would have been clever if in Asylum of the Daleks, if they had one or a couple of Daleks that we would consider them good, but to the Daleks, that was like their definition of insane.
Mm.
And I think that would have been more interesting than Daleks that just, because shouldn't they worship? Well, I guess not, because they.
I got to tell you, I envision, all those Daleks on the ship?
Yeah.
They're weak-ass Dalek politicians. They don't shoot anybody. And I would have Davros bump into them like, who the. And they're just, oh, you're still alive?
Well, that confused. Let me tell you. When I saw all the old style Daleks on that ship, and then there was the white one, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought we stopped using them, and then I thought we stopped using these. And
didn't they kill each other if they were inferior? So why are you keeping them now?
I don't know. I just don't know. And then they had the friggin' the Dalek. What was it? It was not the Grand Dalek. It was the red one that says, "What is happening?" Yeah. It was like the same one from the.
It was a Supreme Dalek.
Supreme Dalek. So I'm guessing that maybe that's just like identical to the other one, and that's what they look like when they're made that way. But
that started that whole shit where there's concentration camps and shit. Like, Jesus, you really got like Nazi freaking evil shit going on now.
Well, I always thought it was funny too in that episode. Don't get me wrong, I like those two episodes, but the doctor, like Devros, starts crying. And he's like, I'll give you some of my regeneration energy.
You know what? That makes absolutely no fucking sense.
And then he's like, I knew you were going to turn on me. Then why did you do it in the first place?
Yeah, that just is one of those Moffat fucking things where he's like, I'm the guy that solves the Doctor's regenerations, and I'm going to solve how Davros gets to be on the show for another 50 years. But it's going to make no fucking sense to.
And then they never did anything with it. They were just like,
Chris, if Davros regenerated, right?
Yeah.
And he walks out of there.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that the regeneration energy just stops and he can't recreate his legs?
Well, that's what I was hoping they would have done. I was hoping that maybe he would have been like, he would have healed himself and there's your villain. You know what I'm saying? But then they did nothing with it. And I was sitting there like.
The regeneration energy created from a hand a whole effing Doctor.
Yes.
You need to tell me that same regeneration can't recreate Davros's legs? Don't freaking tell me that.
Sure could.
And when could the doctor control his regeneration energy where he just, oh yeah, let me cure your river, let me cure your hand, without?
Oh, you mean that and you mean the more evidence that he had another regeneration left?
Yeah.
That we're supposed to just forget about because you're looking too deeply into it. It was blatantly in the episode. So how deeply am I looking into this?
That right there, that was the last regeneration energy, right? That he gave her a hand.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly he said that when he goes to regenerate, he'll be missing something, or maybe he'll miss a hand, or maybe he'll be small instead of tall or something, right? Then where is that regeneration energy? I honestly think he had another regeneration, and he was too old to remember.
He had another one, and then they were like, no, you know what? We're going to screw with them, and we're going to just give him more. And it's like, okay, well.
First of all, when he created that other regeneration energy, right? I never counted that as a regeneration until he completely changes his face.
Yeah, well, why would you count it as a regeneration?
You shouldn't count it as a regeneration. You should never count it. And you know how many people made videos about that? And they says, yes, it counts. No, it doesn't count. It technically...
Oh, a lot of people talked about that. We weren't the first ones to talk about that. A lot of people talked about that.
The people that came before us talked about it.
Yeah.
And they even said, unless he completely changes his face, it's not a complete regeneration energy.
But then the David Tennant thing where he didn't change, and it was like...
They counted it.
Yeah. So I mean, by that logic, I guess then you could say, yeah.
He gave River regeneration by fixing her hand.
So that whole thing. But then you say, but didn't River give him the rest of her regenerations? You mean to tell me that poison is so powerful that it takes 5+ regenerations to cure it?
Well, more like 9 or 10, yeah. That's unless she lied about that too, and she did have regenerations off.
See, that's the problem when you have characters that always lie. It's like you think it's clever, and every now and then it is like, oh, they lied. Like, right. But if they're lying every time, it's like, so then why am I watching the show? If everything, oh, we lied, it's actually this way.
Well, let me ask you another question, right? How could Capaldi ever regenerate again now?
What do you mean?
He gave away like 12 regenerations to the Daleks.
He said he gave away like a couple, not all of them.
A couple? He regenerated every effing Dalek there was.
Well, no, but this is the thing, though. If you remember what he said, he was like, oh, he said kind of the same thing. He was like, oh, I might be missing a leg or something, but I'll be okay.
From one regeneration, he gave it away. This is why you need to explain things.
And not even like, you don't have to be blunt with it. Just give us enough to make our own conclusions so we're not sitting here like, well, maybe, I don't know. But then this happens. And
it's like, give us something, you know? Like, I don't know, man. But now this shit with the revisiting the faces now, then that means that the second Doctor is like the 17th Doctor. Because if you remember that episode called The Two Doctors, he was an older version of the second Doctor.
Well, really, when you think about it, it makes sense on one level that maybe, okay, a Time Lord or more so a Time Lady, because we know that they have better control over their regenerations. I guess you could get to a point where you're so good at controlling what you become that you just either become identical to what you were, or you make such a slight change that it's not even noticeable. So, like, you still look the same. My question is, if you could reach a level like that, why wouldn't you strive to reach a level like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. If I'm a Time Lord, right, and I'm born into my first body, and then I go to the academy and I get my regenerations and whatnot, if I want to look exactly the same way, like let's say I like the way I look, why wouldn't I be like, I better learn how to do this, or at least the theory of it, so that if I ever die, or when I die from old age, I could just kind of regenerate back into the way I like, unless you want to change But I understand why somebody would want to change into, like, if you're a woman, why would you want to, like, change into a male if you're born female and you don't mind being female? You know what I'm saying? Like,
and why is it with all the doctors, right? If they could re-choose their face, they would re-choose the 10th and the 11th, but they never would want to be the other ones either. With the exception of the 4th as a curator.
Right.
Like, is that supposed to be the best doctors according to Moffat?
Well, here's my thing. I mean, we know
the 4th, the 10th, and the 11th?
Right. We know that he can, we know at least the doctor can regenerate into people he's seen before.
Right.
So what happens if some guy regenerates into Rassilon and he's like, I'm Rassilon? Sure.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could test them, like genetic test them, but like what happens if, like, we don't know how deep this goes. What if they have the exact same genetic code?
But that's like saying when the 9th Doctor absorbed the time vortex from Rose,
right,
or the 10th Doctor, like 6 months before he joined her, and he took that form because he knows she liked it. Right? I mean, she saw him, the 10th Doctor, before she met the Doctor. So she remembered him, she liked him, she thought he was cute or whatever, and then he becomes that form. He didn't even know it's him, probably.
Well, it makes the line that the 9th Doctor says. It's like regeneration. You never know what you're going to get. It's more like, no, you don't know what you're going to get. Other
like
people,
subconsciously, maybe he can create change. Like, he could. That's another thing, too, because Matt Smith didn't want to be old.
Yeah, exactly.
The 11th Doctor didn't want to be old, but maybe he became old because he heard that he was old.
Well, apparently there's a whole reason that he chose that face.
Which was dumb.
Which was literally
the dumbest thing I've ever heard in existence.
My head went numb for about 20 minutes after I saw that.
You don't know that you save people all of a sudden? Like, all your 2012 years or 2000, what are we at now? 2003 years? Oh, and how many, now how old is he? Because he was in that pod there for what? He don't eat?
I'm going to say that the doctor is 967,427 years old. Just because I've stopped. I don't know. I don't know Moffat's fetish with.
He cannot be
1,000 years older. Let's make him.
I'm just going to say this, right? He's definitely not 4.5 billion years old.
No.
The body regenerated a copy of it. So he's only like a couple of weeks old, even though it happened for 4 billion years. That body's a couple of weeks old.
Yes.
He's 2003, something like that. But then again, I don't know how many centuries he was. And
at this point, I mean, I don't think anybody would care if you said
nobody gives a shit.
2,000 years old.
Nobody gives a shit right now. Nobody gives a shit. But they need to stop that shit too, because that's getting a little ridiculous. Because then that's why he can't remember Madame de Pompadour, because it happened like 1,500 years ago that he was in love with her. But that's bad. That means he can't remember anything.
I don't know. I mean, we could talk about this stuff forever, but it's like we're never going to get the answers, or we're probably not going to get the answers. So
I'm still racking my brain when the TARDIS built machines. Like, are you Terminator Genesis all of a sudden?
Oh yeah,
is the TARDIS Skynet all of a sudden? That it gives birth to things? Remember, was it TARDIS eggs or something? What's that?
It was the coral that Donna had. She was like, the coral will grow. And it's like, you grow a TARDIS? That's a cool idea.
Remember that thing? Yeah, that was another thing.
I mean, I always thought, like, so what, does the TARDIS grow like a coral? So is it not something you built? Is it something maybe you found and started, like, cultivating? Or is it like we built it, but it's kind of like coral or something that we grow? I don't know. It's like,
right.
It's not a big deal compared to like the rest of the story. Like, there are things that I want them to explain, and then there are things that it would be okay if they explained it, but they don't have to. want them to explain, or like what was the voice in the TARDIS?
How did you project a ganger outside the universe?
How the hell did they do that?
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, really think about that. How the hell did they do that? How powerful is this organization that they can not only project something through time, but through time travel, through a shielded TARDIS, and then when they leave the universe,
I mean, do you realize how big the universe is?
It doesn't end.
This is not like well, it does, but...
Well, eventually it will, but it's still growing.
It's not like it's a cell phone.
It's still expanding, I should say. Yeah.
So how the hell did you beam that out?
The TARDIS lost power because it was like we're outside the known universe. So it's like, oh, so how did you actually do that? Like, how did you and if they have the power to do that, what else can they do?
The only thing I can come up with is that they can't project that far. That Missy was always part of that, right there, traveling in that outside universe or something. Because
I guess
there's no way that you have that. Even Madame de Pompadour thing that had an incredible amount of energy.
Yeah.
Create time windows, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
But that was flawed. But you're talking outside the universe that you got to project her into the Ganger body. That's ridiculous. That's beyond even the black hole with the demon, the devil escaping the black hole and the velocity of the 666. That's beyond that calculations. So there has to be a TARDIS there. There has to be Missy there, outside of being cloaked and special type 50 TARDIS instead of a 40 TARDIS, where they could do that. Because again, his TARDIS is a type 40. You don't know how old.
Yeah.
You don't know if a newer model could go outside the universe like no problem. So I can't believe. Honestly, there's a time traveler that's connected with Corvarian in the church. It's got to be Omega, and it's got to be Missy or something. There's no way. Missy, I mean, Corvarian didn't travel through time. That's another thing. So how could she go down to his time stream if she didn't travel through time? Who created the silence? They still didn't say.
Yeah, they were like, oh, they're
priests.
genetically engineered priests. You forget what you said, which on paper sounds like a good idea, but then it's like, these are going to be the villains?
And what did Clara do?
Nothing.
No, well, they said confess.
Well, yeah.
She did some shit.
Well, this is probably what happened. That silence said confess, and then she started telling him her life story, and then he exploded. Because, I mean...
It's like, oh, this one is like 57 million people throughout the timeline.
Yeah.
And I'm just fucking confused right now.
She's telling him 57 million lifetimes, and then he's just like, you know what?
And the funny thing is, she don't remember any of it, but yeah, she did. Like, how does she remember, but then she don't remember?
I'm surprised she wasn't like, oh, I can remember the silence. Well, why can you remember the silence?
And how the fucking Donna not handle Time Lord technology, like Time Lord consciousness, when this one has 57 million billion people that she was, and she don't go that shit crazy?
Plot convenience.
How about you take the Metacrisis doctor, who is missing the Time Lord aspect, and you take the Donna Noble, who has the Time Lord aspect but needs the human aspect, and you splice that from them like a cold cut. You give Donna the Time Lord stuff to the Metacrisis doctor, you give the human stuff to Donna, and he can regenerate, and he's cool, and she's fucking normal. Why can't you do shit like that?
Because we need a way to write Donna out of the show? I don't know. I mean, there's 100,000 ways you could do that.
I mean, are you like building regeneration energy in your body? Are you like a reactor where some shit goes wrong, you're blasting masters with regeneration energy? Why is that still there? Is she like a backup where if he runs out of regenerations, he'll go right to her? Or did Missy Master remember that with Donna Noble and took that regeneration energy with her before when she went into the thing? Or something.
I don't know.
Why does Missy have the time lord technology on Earth? Like,
she must have went to the end of the universe and was like, hey, can I borrow that? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. Go for it. How else do you explain it?
And why ain't the real Cybermen not having revenge against her for doing that?
Well, really think about this. Like, wouldn't it have made more sense for, like, if the Doctor went on an adventure to find Gallifrey and Missy had already found them and that's how she got the stuff and then she, like, took over?
She was with them. She was with them. That made no sense either.
And then tell me this, right? She said, I know where it is, and she gives him the coordinates, and he goes there, and it's not there, and he gets pissed, and he starts, like, abusing the TARDIS console, right? You mean to tell me that she just lied to him? Again, another character that they just lied.
Well, why couldn't it be like the Medusa Cascade, that it's there, but it's a second out of sync?
Yeah. The way she said it, too, she was like, I know where it is, I gave you the coordinates, go. So the next time he saw her, shouldn't he have been like, yeah, by the way, we need to talk about this?
And she's like, I'll kill them all. They're dust.
But they weren't, though.
Well, how do we know?
Because they were at the end of time.
Well, how do we know that that's an older version? I mean,
because they came out of the freaking thing.
Younger version.
They came out of the alternate universe.
Yeah, but how do we know that didn't happen?
She asked, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know."
I don't know. It's confusing, dude.
It is. It's.
Then he needs to fix that, or something. Or he needs to write a book and say, "Call it I Moffat," and list like 1 million chapters on how he effed up.
And then at the end of the book, the last words are, by the way, I lied about all of this. None of this is true. And it's
going to take like 17 showrunners to fix what he did.
I got to tell you, I think Chibnall needs to just come in there and just make it his own and just go.
I think that Chibnall's going to need a lot of scotch. I think the bar needs to be constantly ready because he needs to be like, you think you need to watch the classic? No, you don't need to watch classic ever again. You need to watch Moffat's over and over to try to fucking understand what's
yeah.
He needs a bar.
And the thing that gets me is that when Moffat writes episodes and he gets things right, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic stuff. And then when he gets it wrong, in my opinion, it's like, oh.
Like really wrong.
It's like, oh my gosh, like what?
It's like, how did the Statue of Liberty Weeping Angel walk around?
I don't know.
It's.
You mean to tell me nobody noticed that?
I don't even know.
Nobody was like, it's gone. For those moments it was gone, that nobody's sitting there like, oh my gosh.
I mean,
the statue's gone. Like, no?
Did the Weeping Angels merge with the Silence, and they took the memories away from them when
the Weeping Silence? There you go. Why not? They merged with the Daleks, took them over, so why not?
Still hate those crabs from last Christmas. I hate that whole freaking thing I saw it the other day. Hate that shit. I fucking still hate that at Christmas special. I hate it with a passion. Let every Christmas be like last Christmas. Let me tell you something. Again, we're going to talk about this for the millionth time. This is going to be the final thing we're talking about.
We've talked about all of this for the millionth time.
We're going to say this one more time. Tell me when Dark Water and what the fuck was the other part called? That's how I hated it so much.
Death in Heaven?
Thank you. I hated it so much I didn't remember the name.
Yeah, that was terrible.
When fucking Santa Claus showed up at the end. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My thing with that was, and I knew, I was like, you know, I'm telling you this, I was thinking this. I was like, there's going to be 100 reaction videos of people loving this. And I was like, and that's fine. That's their opinion. But I was sitting there and I was just like, I don't give a fuck who it is that showed up. You better have someone come at me and explain this episode, because what the hell? And pardon my language, but I don't want to see Santa Claus show up. You know what I want to see happen? I would like an ending where I'm like, you know what? That wrapped everything up well. It made sense. That was good. I'm ready for the next season. I don't care about Santa Claus coming in and be like, so, what do you want for Christmas?
I saw that and I said,
TV screen.
I saw that and I said, if you put that shit in America, they will never have Doctor Who again. Like, and then I remember, this is the fucked up thing. I remember what the poor Karen Gillan came to America to be on, like, was it Craig Ferguson show?
Something like that.
And she fucking had the clip from the fucking God Complex with the fucking clown with the balloon, and they're running around. And you heard the reaction from the people in America. They didn't even know what the fuck that was. And they didn't even want to know what the fuck that was. They hated it. Hated it. I mean, it was like crickets. It was so scary. Crickets in the background. That, like, how do you fucking show shit like that here? You should show, like, the best episodes, no? You show the fucking God Complex, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
Well, I like the God Complex. I really do.
Well, yeah.
I have to admit there were some weird parts to that episode.
Yeah, thank you for not explaining why Rory doesn't have a room.
The crack in the wall. That, okay, to this day, I will never understand. I don't care how many ways you try to explain it to me. He opened the door. He said something along the lines of, oh, of course, it's you. Who else?
Yeah, the Valyard.
Yeah, and you heard the TARDIS making the noise.
Yeah. The biggest fear of the Doctor should be he regenerates evil, and he watches himself regenerate evil, and there's nobody to stop him, and the TARDIS is crying. Because the universe is over. Game over. It's done. That's it. So that's what he watches, like, oh, yeah, I have to remember that. Like, because I got to stop that shit one day. You know, not the cracks. That was stupid.
Even if it would have been the friggin' War Doctor, that would have made more sense.
They changed that meaning of the cracks like 3 times.
They had to.
First it was the prison. Then it was an alternate universe that had creatures and aliens that didn't exist here that was there. That they had Star Whale coming, they had the vampires from Venice that were fish, and that they ran from the silence. Then you thought that the silence was from another universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, well, this is fucking cool now. But then you're like, well, what the fudge? They're priests? It's like, oh shit. Totally fucking confusing. Totally fucking, like, I don't even know. What the fuck happened?
I remember watching Time of the Doctor, and they showed that clip where he opens the door, and the crack in the wall, and I remember just being like, that's not what he saw.
Yeah. I said the same thing. I'm like, fucking asshole Moffat. What the fuck?
I don't know who, if he was the one that did that, I'd love to hear what he said. Like, because...
Well, he didn't write the God Complex stuff.
Well, there you go.
And Matt Smith even said that it could have been anything. Like, he could have seen nooses hanging from the TARDIS, like bodies hanging or some weird shit of all his selves or something. Like
that doesn't make sense, because he specifically says,
it's you.
Of course it's you. Who else? He's referring to somebody.
Himself, the Valyard, yeah.
I always imagined it like maybe it was an evil version of himself or the Valyard or somebody in the TARDIS. And the TARDIS was crying because something horrible happened to him.
Like I said.
No, it's the crack in the wall.
Yeah, no.
What?
It's, in other words, it's like, oh, that's still going to happen. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I'm still going to become an evil son of a bitch and kill everybody. I mean, they even hinted at it in the Pandorica Opens and the Big Bang. All his evil villains teamed up because this motherfucker's going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
He's going to kill everybody. Like, whoever he was, that he's got to hide his name, he's going to kill everything. Everything. So they all teamed up to stop him.
And they even said in there that the cracks in the universe are the work of the Doctor.
Right.
Okay. So does that mean in the future he makes those cracks? Is that like the shrapnel remnants of like the universe that he blew up in the future? Did he do something so horrible that it scarred time throughout all time and space? That he scarred the universe, I should say? That he scarred reality throughout all time and space? That sounds pretty cool. Why can't we know? Oh, okay.
Was his last form the Watcher, and he went back in time and merged with himself so he could change the timeline and alter the Valeyard? Don't know. Too much shit going on. He's got to explain it. And that's where we're going to leave it, I guess. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye for now.